some people like Richard Wolff, for example. He's he's not a capitalist, but he's really like, you know, he lives really well, and
Yeah.
he doesn't actually advocate for revolution. Did you guys hear about that?
Richard Wolff?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
like,
does.
have you guys heard about Richard Wolff's like? Cause so he's like he's a Marxian, like, you know, he's a socialist communist, whatever. But
Yeah.
like, someone told me, correct me if I'm wrong though, okay? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Mhm.
Somebody told me that he doesn't advocate for revolution. He thinks that going by reform. So he's actually not a Marxist Leninist. He's like a Stockton,
I
like
don't
a
think I've
Del
actually
Stock.
heard of this.
How here's how I would categorize Wolf, because he is exactly the labor aristocracy, right? He's part of the intelligentsia, and
Mm,
his career depends on him specifically explaining Marxism, the ideologies, the economics of it. And I mean, if Dr. Wolf were sitting in New York for the last 40 years advocating for revolutionary overthrow, he wouldn't have been sitting in New York for 40 years. He would have been
mm.
completely blackballed from academia. I mean, and he pretty much is anyway. I mean, he only came to prominence within the last decade of the American somewhat mainstream with the rise of independent media in the last decade. But his I would not call him a sock demo or a reformist. No, he does understand that, because I've heard him talk about, he spoke directly with Comrade Hakeem once on a video a few years ago, and you listen to Dr. Wolf, and he advocates for worker ownership and co-ops and et cetera, et cetera. And he's clearly got the idea in his mind of using this and unionization as building dual power. So yes, I think Richard Wolff is a classical Marxist, um, and understands that revolution is the only path that's going to get us there. He just doesn't come out and say, "Hey, by the way, you need to arm yourselves."
He's being careful with his words so he doesn't
Exactly.
lose the position that he's
Mm.
because
So
he's in a
basically,
position where he can reach a lot of people
Right.
and speak fairly openly. But just like in academia during the time of the Soviet Union being around, you could be that can actively denounce the Soviet Union. You couldn't come out and say Soviet
Right.
Union is awesome. That's how we need to do it. Which then leads
Right.
to like a lot of papers and socialists writing papers advocating for socialism, but actively discrediting existing
Mm.
socialist experiments. Because
So
if they
all
did, they wouldn't be in the positions they were, and I can understand how they would see that as not being able to reach as many people. Although
Hmm.
I will say nowadays that's changed. That I would say that's changed a bit because of the internet and the
mm.
landscape of the internet.
Yes.
right, we have to be clear that everything is being done in Minecraft.
Yeah, of course.
Hmm.
So he could secretly be like a Stalinist janky for all we know.
Yeah, in
He,
private, he might absolutely love.
I mean, he speaks very, very highly of the Soviet Union in general. In general, he appreciates the. I mean, he is a proper Marxist. He has a dialectical and historical materialist view of every socialist experiment. If you listen to a lot of Wolf that isn't just introductory stuff, then the guy clearly is on the right side of the the argument.
Okay, well now that you put it that way, I think I understand now. Because that, yeah, that makes sense. Because if if you don't want to be CIA'd or like FBI'd or whatever, then
Mhm.
you got to be really
I mean,
careful
there's a
with your words.
strategy you got to
Mm.
use. I would
Right.
say in order to do things, and your strategy will depend on safety. It will depend on support from the masses overall. Like if it's just
Right.
you speaking into the whole, but
Right.
like
Exactly. As Comrade Lenin said, we have to exhaust all means, legal and Minecraft.
Yeah. He specifically said Minecraft. If you go to Marxist.org and look up Lenin, you'll see many numerous references to Minecraft.
Yes.
He was a real prophet, that one.
Right. So when he was talking about putting all the pigs in the basin and you use the flint lock or whatever to light a fire, he meant very specifically only in Minecraft.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yes. If we jump into Minecraft too quickly without the proper support and base, you wind up with you wind up Luxembourg.
Yeah, and you got to do occasional updates to Minecraft so that you can have the latest
patch.
The latest patch, you got to do some.
Well, when you do the upgrade and do the patch, there would be a lot of people that would call you revisionist, right?
Yeah. There's always the whole that are just like, you're doing it wrong. We need to go back to the old way.
We have to go back to 1.8.
We got to go back to 1.8. But over time, depending on what the people want, if they support it in mass, then that's just going to be what it is. And if it turns out not to work and the masses do want to go back to the original way, then they go back to the original way and start over.
See, so basically it's like when you go onto Minecraft right now, there's like the front page is like basically just microtransactions. So people would basically say that China is Minecraft 5 point whatever, as opposed to, 0.1, or as some people believe it should be at.
Yeah.
However, what I would have you even made your own Minecraft?
There we go. Now we're getting into it.
We are here in the United States in separate regions. I mean, no,
we have a
installing
different
that in your space, and in Minecraft. But if you're in a nation as large as the heart of the empire, when you are constructing socialism, you are basing it all on the conditions of those individual communities, and those communities eventually, for lack of a better vocabulary at the second, link up, form even bigger and bigger, sections and districts and committees. How silly is it for internet leftists in Minecraft to criticize